Good morning, boys and girls. Happy Friday. We got a mock draft coming at you. First one of the summer. Going to get nasty. We're going to raw dog it. Let's get into it. Okay, so we're recording here, and I'm going to randomize the order so no one here gets mad. Play by the rules here. 12-team, PPR, full PPR. Randomize the order. Fourth pick right now. We'll randomize it again. And I'm the third pick. Okay, so we're going to get this going here. We're just going to start the mock draft and kind of narrate it as we go. We got Saquon right off the rip and Jamar Chase. So this is going to be easy Justin Jefferson smash for me. But and again, these are all bots. I think it's easier for the sake of the videos and for the sake of just before we get into more the deeper, more money-given best ball drafts throughout the summer. You want to mess around with the bots a little bit. These bots are smarter than you. They're smarter than me. They're smarter than everybody out there. So they're combining the most information that you have that from all the mock drafts that they've seen to give you the most accurate information. So it's more accurate than you think. Pause for the coffee. And we're going to, it's okay. It's okay to draft against bots. You know what I mean? I think when you get more toward the regular season, then it's good to kind of change it up a little bit. Just because you do get those rogue picks that, may be more helpful to prepare you for your league. But we're going to do a bot for now. So we got Saquon, Jamar. Saquon at the 101 is rich for me. I think Jamar is the clear 101 in a PPR league. I like anchoring my team with a safe wide receiver. Jefferson's been bulletproof. Every QB he's played with, it reports out of camp, and J.J. McCarthy, whether you believe it or not, have been great. So he's been great. I'm taking Jefferson here. I'm not even going to overthink it. Bijan would be the only other one I would partially consider. But then we go on this little run of wide receivers. Amon-Ra, Puka, CD, Malik Neighbors, Derrick Henry. We got Brock Bowers at the 2-1 turn. He's kind of been falling a little bit later in these mock drafts towards the mid-second. He would be an easy smash for pick for me. We got Josh Allen early. Trey McBride is a little bit early. T. Higgins, and then Ladd McConkey. So immediately, once you anchor your team, at least what I like to do in the first round is just get the most safest guy with still the highest ceiling possible. That's why I don't think there's a safer option than Justin Jefferson. Jamar, sure, but there's always the risk of, we saw running backs kind of take over fantasy football again last year. Before that, the wide receivers had their run when the running backs were in a slump. So I'm fine with Jefferson there. I would hesitant to go back-to-back wide receiver unless they're just a can't-miss guy. A.J. Brown, I don't love here. I think there's a significant teardrop from Ladd McConkey to A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown's probably a top 5, 6 pure football wide receiver. But if you look at the stats right here of just what the Eagles have done the past couple of years in the run-first offense, especially getting Saquon, they don't use him. They don't need him until he throws a diva fit probably in week 8. So I have no inclination to take A.J. Brown. I'm totally fine with Devon Achane there. Devon Achane here as my RB1. I'm going to snag him. I think he's in a kind of a tier above these guys as well, in the sense of PPR-wise, he's one of the biggest difference makers between standard and PPR, especially last year. We saw this dude just light it on fire with 8, 9, 10 targets per game. We got the Tyreek Hill situation, completely losing control. He might not even be on the team. We saw Jalen Waddle take the biggest burden hit of all these underneath passes to Achane. And we saw him be a little bit bulletproof too with Tua out as well. So I'm not going to set him forget it. Big Devon Achane guy. And then we move on. Jonathan Taylor, Lamar Jackson, Jane Daniels. So I kind of want to run this back here. I have Chase Brown a little bit higher, honestly, than some of these other guys. Again, the wide receivers, JSN, Garrett Wilson, I don't think should be anywhere near here. I think he's kind of reached his ceiling. We've seen what he's done with, sure, the volume's always going to be there. He had volume with Zach Wilson. I think he had 140. He was top 3, I think, that year in targets. Don't quote me on that, but it didn't result in yield to a lot of production. Not a big red zone target threat as well. So going to pass on that for in the moment as well. I'm a big running back guy, and I'm going to take Chase Brown here. I mean, we saw Chase Brown as part of one of he pretty much, him in the passing game was their run game last year, And since I didn't get Jamar, that'd be the only reason I'm hesitant to get a Chase Brown. But, as soon as they shipped Zach Moss off, Samaje Perine didn't really much do of anything. Chase Brown was a top 8 guy. You know how good Chase Brown was. If he was on your team last year towards the end of the year, he was remarkable. And they didn't really address anything that would lead me to change that this year. So I'm going to go Chase Brown. I'm going to feel pretty good about that. I feel a lot better about him than Kyron, who's not the most efficient guy, not the most explosive guy. I really like Chase Brown. So I feel pretty good about this team so far. We got Marvin, the 4-1, Devontae Adams. And again, if you guys are new here, this is Verse Fantasy. Hit the subscribe button, like, comment, whatever you want to see. We are a fantasy football startup that's coming out with an app in July, August, right before the season starts. You'll be able to play money lines, spreads, over-unders, and win real money with this team. So this team, if this was my home league, my family friend league, whatever it is, your work buddies, you can take that league and sync it. We have a thing called League Sync into our app, and you'll be able to play real money like it's, any other sports book. So really, really cool. Verse Fantasy. Check us out on socials as well. Hit the subscribe button if you like this kind of stuff. Much appreciated. Cortland Sutton, kind of a guy I wanted right there. The QB list is so deep. If I don't get one of the elite guys, and that elite guy probably ends with Joe Burrow right there, I'm pretty comfortable waiting until the 7th or 8th round to get a guy like Brock Purdy, like Caleb Williams with a little bit of rushing upside. Running back wise, let's see who we go with here. That's a little rich for RJ Harvey. See, that's why you got to get your running backs early still. Man, and the wide receivers aren't like jumping out to me. DK Metcalf is, I like him better than Zay Flowers or Devonta Smith. Again, for the same reasons I don't like A.J. Brown, not a Xavier Worthy guy. I like Jameson Williams, low-key probably the most out of all these guys. I think he's in a prime position to have a huge breakout season. But, man, I mean, this is could be a moment where I double down and look at someone like a James Conner, who health is always a concern with him, but Joe Mixon was very efficient last year, but also very inconsistent towards the end of the year. All right, we're taking Joe Mixon. We took Joe Mixon. Again, this is a 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, and a flex spot. So I feel pretty good about having my 3 running backs and a flex, obviously interchangeably as I see fit with those guys in bye weeks and injuries and so on and so forth. George Pickens rolls off the board. I was going to take Kittle there. He was the other guy I was debating a little bit. And then after him, I'm totally just punting on this. All these guys. I mean, my running back is probably going to be pretty shitty, or my tight end, which you hate to see. Let's see here. Definitely not interested in Laporta at the 5-3. I mean, I got to get a receiver at this point. It is a PPR league, and Zay Flowers, albeit not a big, red zone threat, he'll do fine for PPR. He had a few explosion weeks last year. I mean, I do like Jameson Williams. I did say it's a little bit rich for him to be my wide receiver 2. I would like him more as my wide receiver 3. But I like him more than Waddle. And then all these other guys do have their injury concerns and some of their risks as we move down. So let's see here. And then tight ends now. I'm going to go with Zay. What do you say? Definitely would have taken DK or George there. But again, if you attach yourself to good offenses, you're more than likely going to be in a better position for those players to make big plays. So I'm fine with Zay Flowers there. Hopefully maybe he takes that. He's still a young, building into his prime guy. We got Travis Hunter right there at the 6'8", which is very rich for me. And then Hawkinson as well. I like RJ Harvey, rookie running back out of Denver. I think has a lot of potential. But let's see what we got here. Definitely not interested in Kelsey. Jonnu Smith, I don't love, especially with getting HN so early. QB at this point, not a big concern for me. I think I might either looking at wide receiver or tight end. Again, I'm eyeing a lot of these guys. I mean, I like Tucker Kraft a lot down here at the end. Maybe taking a shot on Tyler Warren. We saw how good Njoku could be if he gets good quarterback play. Mark Andrews is firmly just rinsing down my board consistently, so not a big fan of him. I'm going to go, man, I like some of these rookie running backs too. That's the thing. Looking back, I think I should have taken a wide receiver instead of Joe Mixon and then double down here on running back with Travion or even Caleb Johnson or one of those rookies. But didn't do that, so we got to go with I got to make a decision here. We're going to go Calvin Ridley. DeAndre Swift, I really like as well. Again, I mean, these are a lot of running backs that I think could be solid RB2s. DeAndre Swift being drafted as RB27 right now. He's played with Ben Johnson before in Detroit. Extremely good on the outside zone run, which Ben Johnson loves. Ran it over 40% at the time last year. So I think DeAndre Swift will be a great addition, especially if they didn't draft anyone for him. I thought they were going to take Travion in the pick in the draft at 39, the Bears. But New England gets him. And Travion, obviously a very explosive guy as well. So I think he has a lot of potential and a better offense in New England. So I got to look at my tight end here. Travis Kelce still sitting there. At this point in the 7th round, man, I mean, kind of in like I don't know. I think I might either just look at another running back, and then I'm kind of set on my running backs. Maybe I do Quinshon Judkins, just not in a good situation. Where did let's see, Omar Hampton? He went at the 4-7. Okay, one of my favorite players in the draft for sure. Screw it, I'll take Rome. I mean, you want to take, again, good players attached to like high upside. I think he has a lot of high upside. Obviously, didn't have the rookie year that he wanted, but Keenan Allen is shipped out. They draft Colson Loveland. That offense is going to be great, and I think Rome has a real chance to go over 1,000 yards this year with Caleb Williams. So I like the fit of banking on him and potentially Calvin Ridley, pairing him with as a first fit with Cam Ward. So at this point, we got Jared Goff, Bo Nix, so we see a little bit of a QB run here. Herbert is nice and fine. I think I might pair him up with Caleb Williams, which I think I could get at the 9-3 turn. I still need my tight end, which I'm kind of punting at this point, which I don't love. And then probably another running back here as well. So I really wanted to get one of those rookie running backs. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. Javonte Williams, kind of broken. He was so bad. He's been so bad since his ACL injuries. And then wide receiver, I've gone 3 straight wide receivers at this point, so I do need another either pass catcher or I think I'm going to go Njoku here. I know it's a little early, but I'm going to go Njoku. It's probably the most athletic and best option at the moment for the Browns. Now we got Mark Andrews. Now I'm going to go turn around here. I like Purdy or Caleb Williams, but I'm going to go with Caleb Williams, stack him with Roma Dunze, and hopefully just you're banking on the Ben Johnson effect for this guy to come in and have the second-year breakout that we all think he can have. So we'll fly through some of these right now because I think the video is getting a little long. But as you can kind of see, we got Javonte Williams, Tyler Warren, Travis Etienne, Cam Scatterbu, Jaden Reed going before Matthew Golden. I think that's a little bit late for Jaden Reed too. Remember how good this guy was early on in the year. He was a wide receiver, I think, 1 after week 1 in the game last year against Philly. And it's just a lot of cooks in the kitchen is unfortunately the way it goes, and gets a lot of end arounds, gets a lot of carries. Josh Downs, one of my favorite players of all time. Caleb Downs' brother, one of the best efficient guys in route running versus man and zone is Josh Downs. So we got Rico Dowell here. Drake May is obviously another guy I'm totally fine waiting for. And then it probably caps off there. So maybe wait for Drake May if I could pair him with Kyle Williams. But I do need probably another running back at this point. I got my 3 early on, which is the good sign. But let's see if we can maybe get anyone with a little bit of upside. Tanks Bigsby. I'm going to go Bigsby. One of he was the best running back last year for Jacksonville on a per touch basis. we heard the rumors of Travis Etienne leaving all of last year. I think it's going to be Tank Bigsby's. If he can reminisce what he did a little bit last year, that's a great pick, I think, in the 10th round. Colson Loveland, Jake Ferguson, we got Keon Coleman. And then, at this point, you're kind of just adding depth where you see it. Kyle Pitts, rightfully still on the board. At this point, it can't hurt to go running back again. I got my 4 wide receivers that I feel pretty good about starting on a week-to-week basis if I had to. Do I go Luther Burden? Now I'm just kind of buying in a little bit to the Bears offense too much. I'm just going to go maybe just in this case, in the 11th round, I'm fine with taking the best player available, which really isn't any of these guys. Let's see. We got 57 seconds. Let's see what we can get here. Garendo, Ray Davis. J.K. Dobbins obviously just signed with Denver. Jerome Ford. I got to make a decision here. We'll take Higgins. We'll take Jaden Higgins, rookie wide receiver from Houston. They obviously drafted a couple wide receivers there. Tank Dell, gone. Stephon Diggs, gone. So, again, pairing him with C.J. Stroud, who was the next pick. Again, when in doubt, just take players on good offenses and you'll be in a better situation. Trey Harris, who I really like. Ole Miss, second-round pick from on the Chargers. We got Dak, Justin Fields, Drake May, Rashad White, Jaden Blue, Kyle Williams. There's a guy I probably should have taken. I didn't listen. Take your own advice, Lou. You got to take your own advice. He goes at the 12-1. Let's see who else. We got a little bit of a run of rookies coming up here. Hollywood Brown goes right before me. Isaac Garendo, Ray Davis, I think is one of the better handcuffs that you see in Buffalo as well. Jalen McMillan, Christian Kirk. There's really not a whole lot to go off of. Xavier Legette, I think I'll take Xavier Legette. Take a little risk on a second-year wide receiver who had a little bit of a run there with Bryce Young. Tet McMillan, obviously they draft isn't the best news for Xavier Legette, but you never know how the second-year breakouts in camp are going to go. Again, he was at one point had that 2-3 game stretch in the middle of the season last year where he was a wide receiver 3. But then we move on to pick 13. And this does have kickers and defenses, which I probably should have turned off because I hate defenses and hate kickers. Everyone should hate kickers. I don't feel great about David Njoku, so I'm fine with snagging. I'll snag a Zach Ertz here, who was a top 8 tight end 1 last year towards the end of the year. Not a very efficient guy, but always seemed to find the end zone. I think he scored in 5 out of his last 6 games down the stretch there in the fantasy playoffs. And then from here, we're just going to run it out with the kickers. Who's booting it the most? Justin Tucker. Should we take him? Yeah, Tyler Loop. We'll take him. Baltimore's new kicker. Obviously, then defense, we'll just... this doesn't matter for week 1. Defense, you want to... If you're drafting defenses, look who they're playing the first 2-3 weeks and then kind of stream from there is kind of the way I go. So, we'll take 49ers. So, we'll see. That'll wrap up the first mock draft of the year where we're just entering this raw and seeing what we can pick out and seeing how the squad looks. So, again, 12-team PPR. I don't know why that says 10 at the top, but we got 12-team PPR. We got a quarterback. We got Caleb Williams. Running backs, we got Devon Achane, Chase Brown. Love that. We got Joe Mixon in the flex. And then we got Justin Jefferson and Zay Flowers. And then Calvin Ridley, Roma Dunze to mix in there as well. It's a pretty balanced team. I think if I wanted to change anything, maybe swap out Joe Mixon at the what was it, the 410 for a DK Metcalf. If I wanted something, maybe a little safer on the wide receiver side in a PPR league, and then double down on running back later with like a Trayvon Henderson or a Caleb Johnson. One of those rookie running backs who are bound to explode, hopefully, and be the next Bucky Irving. So, again, that's all we got here. Again, this is Verse Fantasy. Thanks, y'all, for tuning in. Hopefully, you enjoyed some of this content. Maybe you were listening at home, on the drive, whatever you do. Make sure you hit the like button below and then subscribe below. We got fantasy content all throughout the summer, and we post a bunch of other stuff, a bunch of highlight reels, all prepping us for the app that we got coming out in the fall. So you got to stay tuned for that. It's going to be really, really cool. Other than that, we'll see you in the next one, and stay hard.